Yeah, it is March 22nd, 2025. I just realized I'm told that I fucking wasted my time, buddy. On the internet, it's playing around, say I got a good signal or something. The very same thing could be happening right now, and I just wouldn't know. That's kind of unnerving to think about. You know, like if it's fucking up, I'm just here on the damn internet looking like a nerd. I don't want to do that. All right. I'm going to see if this particular thing, this video right here, I'm going to see if it fucks up. All right, on the playback, check it out, see who's fucking up. So I don't have no idea. Not any idea why it would be fucking up. And for that matter, how to get it to stop fucking up. Oh no. I got it in standard definition. Not too high, not too low. That kind of definition. Standard kind. And I figure it shouldn't be no trouble for my computer to do that sort of thing. Figure that's what the hell I can do, damn it. So I want to leave it. All right. So I got somebody in the building. I'm not sure who it is, and I don't want to ask this person very much. But I'm wondering, like, is it totally fucked? I was jiggling some stuff around. You know, I think I believe I made my face even bigger. It was like a background wasn't there earlier. I was able to get rid of that background, but there's other stuff going on here on StreamYard. I haven't been on StreamYard for some time. And I pop on StreamYard and they got this feature. You don't see what the hell I'm looking at when I'm looking at it right now. This feature. And it's talking about a demo scene. I don't even know what the fuck it's talking about. What demo scene? I don't know what you're even talking about. Why would you even say I have a demo scene? Demo scene number 2 is like ready. I don't know what the fuck it is, dude. And why is it even telling me this right? Look, I'm going to click on it right now. Look, I'm clicking on it. Nothing. Not a damn thing. Why do I even have this? I could rename the scene, but I don't know what the fuck the scene even is. I don't have any scenes lined up. It's just my dumb face. What is it talking about? I can make another scene. If I make another scene, I will be able to delete that scene. But really, I want to delete the original scene because I don't even know what a scene fucking does. And I have no use for it right now. And it may or may not be causing my video to come out all whack and choppy. I don't want that. So I hate to ask for this person's help, but if you happen to be at a keyboard, could you just please tell me? You could write the number 1. Number 1 for this sucks. Fuck your technology. And number 2 for, yeah, we could hear you fine enough, right? Because if you weren't here, I'd cut it off. That's what I would do. I'd cut it off. And I would go to my stupid YouTube channel and I would listen to the playback, and I would see, does it sound like anything at all, or does it sound like bleeps and blorps coming from damn aliens? Because I got a serious problem on my hands. I got some sort of technology that is inappropriate or something. It's just not adequate. How am I gonna know? I wouldn't know. I don't know right now what's going on. Could be somebody, could be a Russian bot, could be anybody watching me, just lurking. And I'm not even saying nothing. Like maybe they don't even hear what I'm saying. Maybe my face is all choppy from one direction to another and stuff. And they're just sitting there and they're just like enjoying it, knowing full well that I'm actually saying things, but they can't hear the things. And in fact, nobody's going to hear the things because it's not recording well, and nobody's going to stand for this shit. Right? The person's keeping me in suspense. Maybe they don't have a keyboard. Maybe they're not a real person. Or like I said, maybe they're enjoying this. Watch me flounder. Watch me wonder if I even exist. I mean, no doubt this is a simulation. And I don't just mean tonight. I mean the whole fucking world simulation. Right? That's not to say it's not real. Who am I to say what's real, what's not real? I think it is real, but who am I? I think it's real. It's all real. Everything is very real, and it's a simulation on our asses. And we're gonna have to freaking deal with it. We're gonna be given curveballs and challenges. Actually, hell, I don't know if I'm saying one word into this camera right now on the internet, but earlier today I was actually facing one of these challenges. In fact, it was last night even. One of these challenges I was facing. And I came across, I rised above this challenge, but only by the skin of my teeth. And it was very emotional. And there was a lesson to be learned. The lesson was of perseverance. The lesson was to not quit. So, anyways, I have no idea. Again, still, fuck. I really don't have no idea if the audio is coming in. Right? It's getting me all paranoid. But before I started the previous broadcast in which I ended because it sucked. It didn't have no audio and it's all choppy and stuff. Came across a story that, like I said, probably not important. Probably no one cares. But it's full of significance. It further sets a precedent that was already set a long time ago. All right. The lesson to be learned, might I suggest, is that fuck Christians, buddy. Fuck them, and we hate them. We hate them so much we can't even disguise our hatred for them. That is likely going to be, I'll let you decide. But that's already, I got to be honest with you, that's the conclusion I came to. The so-called news will say it as much as they possibly can. And like I said before, I have no respect for these people who they get paid probably just as much money as me to what? Take a dump on the internet. They're happy to do it. these journalists. One such journalist is named, I can't even say what's the name. Gabby Jimenez, digital journalist, has no shame, hates her father probably. All right, I'm just statistically probably uh, is running the streets. I'm sorry if that's not true statistically, Gabby Jimenez. You're running the streets, and you're also taking dumps on the internet, and also you hate your father, and you probably have good reason for it. So she's a journalist, and she says this. Here's the headline: It's tragic. Officials seek answers after vandalism of Quintana Road Memorial honoring 53 migrants. Now, this is a story that I'd known about ever since it ever happened, which was years and years ago. I'm very familiar with it. There's been other cases kind of like it, but big deal, big deal. It was in San Antonio, and I happened to not be living in San Antonio at the time. But some people might remember in San Antonio, I believe it was the South Side, but I'm not sure. It was a big old 18-wheeler semi truck in the parking lot of a Walmart. It had gotten somebody's attention and stuff like that. People were very alarmed by it for some reason. They decided to open the back. They found dozens and dozens of dead and dying, quote, migrants. They're not migrants. And that's the thing about it. People think, oh, these people are dumb. Oh, these people are ignorant. Oh, these people don't know how to use words. These people are evil. And I'm not even suggesting that they're consciously evil, like they mean to be evil and they set out. Some of them are. There's a certain amount, and I would imagine Gabby Jimenez is one of these in which you're so goddamn retarded that it's evil. At a certain point, you're so retarded that it is evil. And don't hide behind handicapped people. And I'm not talking about them. I'm saying you're so fucking retarded that it doesn't matter whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. You are pure evil. And you're going to sit back and you're going to feel all holier than thou. Writing your stupid article, which I'm going to read right now. It's not stupid because you're dumb. It's stupid because you're fucking evil. But nobody wants to talk to you like that. Nobody wants to call you out on your bullshit. So, mind you, before we continue on, the officials are seeking answers. Whenever I hear a term, and this is in your headline, officials are seeking answers, they're seeking them out their ass. They're not doing shit. Officials. Oh, really? Are they my officials? Or are they your officials? Oh, they're seeking answers. I'm sure that they're seeking them real hard. For who? It's a memorial honoring 53 migrants. This is a spot where people would say, oh, here's a dumb 304. Here's a dumb little girl, hates her father, is running the streets, taking dumps on the internet. You don't get the difference between migrants and illegals. Holler at me if you've heard this rhetoric. Oh, you don't get the difference between migrants and illegals. Yes, the fuck they do. They totally get the difference. They're meaning to convolute and just kind of like muddy the waters of the difference. There is an extreme difference between migrants and illegals. Your inability to articulate that there is a difference is what makes you fucking evil, and you're up to no good. And I bet you're proud of yourself, Gabby. I bet you got to be so proud of yourself right now because you're standing up for migrants. No, you're not. In fact, you're spitting in the face of all migrants here in San Antonio and everywhere else in Texas and the country. You are spitting all in their faces by not articulating the fact that there's a difference between immigrants and illegals. It truly is. Now, for the people who do remember, these illegals were in the back of a 18-wheeler. They all died tragically. Some of them didn't die. Some of them lived through a nightmare scenario I couldn't even imagine. But most of them did die. Most of them died right then. There was some that died later. It was very tragic. Imagine being put in an oven and having that oven driven around San Antonio. So they did die, these people. I felt terribly about it. I imagine most people felt terribly about it. All right, regardless if they were illegals or not, you don't want this happening in your city. So let me just read it because you already know what's coming down. You already know an inaccurate portrait of what's taking place. Apparently, there was an incident. Apparently, there's a memorial. And just breaking news is March 22nd, 2025. Apparently, that memorial had got vandalized. This memorial. Let me talk to you about it a little bit. Officials are seeking answers after a memorial honoring 53 migrants. Every time you say it, completely disrespecting migrants, and you don't care at all. You couldn't care any less. So these 53, let me correct you, illegals were killed. And yes, in fact, they were killed in a smuggling tragedy in 2022 along Quintana Road. And apparently this memorial was vandalized. So get this, a call came in on Saturday morning reporting the damages, according to the San Antonio police. The vandalism is believed to have happened between 11 p.m. Friday and 8:45 a.m. On Saturday, because apparently nobody wakes up in that area before 8:45 a.m. We'll just point that out. According to the San Antonio police report, police said the damages look intentional because it appears all the crosses were tipped over from behind. Right. So this is the part where my brain starts firing, and I start having signals firing across my brain. I'm willing to bet that 99 plus percent of people in San Antonio probably wouldn't. It's like, I'd hate to say 99%. This is so fucked up and foul that there should be like peaceful protests or something like that. Okay, so they're describing this memorial that was set up for over 53 people, but 53 people did die in the back of a semi-tractor trailer in San Antonio, 2022. Apparently, it was a memorial put up. And what they're describing is these big crosses, if you can imagine, these big wooden crosses. Apparently, for each person, it's like 53 crosses. They were tipped over from behind. All right, thereby it looks like intentionally vandalized. All right, SAPD said they expect to charge the person responsible with criminal mischief for property damage between $2,500 and $30,000. And I already knew what they were getting at. I knew what they were getting at since the very beginning. All right. But I'll share that with you. Here, let me just read a little bit more. This rises to the highest level of concern for me, says Ron Nierenberg, the no-name mayor of San Antonio. Nobody knows who he is except for me, and that pisses me off. He's been the mayor for San Antonio for years and years. Nobody knows who he is. People don't realize how dangerous that is. But he says this rises to the highest level of concern for me because it takes advantage of our community and also continues to fuel, get this, the level of rhetoric and hate that has been going on in our community and others about immigrants. So I really don't want to, I don't want to really read the rest of their words. It's all basically going to be about that. Immigrants. As I said before, Ron Nierenberg's the same exact spirit as Gabby Jimenez. These are not immigrants who you're talking about. You're lying purposefully about the dead to get your political agenda across, both of y'all, because both of y'all's fathers ain't shit. It's a spiritual thing in which you just can't wait to lie out your mouth about anybody at any time, anywhere. You're not as good as Gavin Newsom, but you're trying your best. This is a hate crime. Oh, it's a hate crime. Please believe they said that. They said we're going to find this person and perhaps charge them with a hate crime. I mean, really, honestly, from the jump, I wonder how interested they really are with finding the so-called culprits. I can't help but think that perhaps your so-called culprits are some of your own little minions behind the scenes trying to create problems. It sounds like something that y'all would do. It sounds like something y'all have done over and over and over and over again straight out your playbook. Oh, have someone in the night vandalize a certain thing and this and that. And that means people hate immigrants. It has, first of all, the memorial has nothing to do with immigrants. It has 0% to do with any immigrants. And you know that, and you're purposefully lying about it. It does have to do with illegals that I'm pretty sure most people in San Antonio and in America in general, I'm pretty sure they wish those illegals had not died in the back of a tractor trailer. But you're saying, oh, we just can't wait to get these people, whoever did this, we can't wait to find them. Yeah, I can't wait either. I'm going to hold my breath and watch and see if you're going to find them. Hey, I bet you never ever find them. Why? Because they're your own minions trying to cause trouble. And you say, whoever did this, they knocked over the crosses because they hate immigrants. It's like, oh, you don't know who did this, but you know why they did it. And somehow or another, you're oblivious to the fact is these are crosses. It's possible that this person hates Christians. How are you going to know the intentions of a person who you don't even know who the person is? But you're going to sit here and tell everybody, well, it must be because They hate immigrants. This has zero to do with immigrants. So what you're saying flat out doesn't make sense. How would you know why they did it? Why wouldn't you even consider that maybe they hate Jesus? Oh, why? Because if they did, that would no longer be a hate crime in your eyes. It's not, it wouldn't be important if someone knocked over 50 some odd crosses out of disrespect of Jesus. That wouldn't be important to you. That wouldn't rise to the level of hate or whatever it is you're claiming. No, this false flag in which y'all fucking did yourselves, dude. I can't wait till it's pretty well obvious that whoever put up those crosses, they know damn well who vandalized the crosses, and they did so. In order to do so, they had to disrespect Jesus, and they couldn't wait to disrespect Jesus. And I want to bet you all sort of money. It's not some random person in your community walking by knocking over crosses. I bet you it isn't. So, anyways, I just thought I would talk about that. Nobody cares about that. I don't even care about it. I'm not going to remember tomorrow. I'm not. I'm not going to remember this tomorrow because this is straight out of their fucking devious, diabolical playbooks. They live and breathe fraud. If I brought it up today, it doesn't matter. They're going to do it tomorrow, the next day. They're never, ever going to stop. Their daddy is Satan. And the only thing they would like better is for your daddy to be Satan. They want you to be so confused. We were all confused as children. We all got very confused notions, and sometimes we were operating under the influence of Satan, right? And now we see these people are just unrepentant, continue to do it, can't wait to do it. Hate Christians, never. See, that's a cowardly thing to do. You know, it's like you hate them. I know you hate them. You just don't want to mention how much you hate them, and you're going to pretend like you don't. Why? Because you're scared of them. But you're not so scared that you won't run off at your mouth. The mayor of San Antonio is a flaming homosexual, which is just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You're coming around here talking about hate crimes and stuff. You can't wait to step on the name Jesus. I'm sure you didn't say the name Jesus. It was not in the article. And it don't even matter. All right. So, I don't know who's out there, but whoever's out there, I just want to say a couple of things before we get up out of here that may even sound contradictory. I mean, this whole damn thing, what I'm doing right here, contradiction. Telling you about this news item you would have heard nowhere else. Why? Because it does not matter. But showing you that this sort of thing happens all day, every day in America. Why? Because white men are bad. Christians are bad. Oh, you like America? You're bad. We're going to say whatever fuck words we want to make you feel bad. Even though we run around here just having sex with whatever we can find. All right. I'm describing certain people, and God bless them. I'm no better than these people, except thank God that I have just no desire to do any of that sort of thing. All right. One thing that I want to say while I got your ear right now, I don't know if you agree or not, but nothing at all is important I want you to soak that in. You might not agree with it. I'm not trying to get you to agree with that. But I've come to the conclusion, if not just recently, and I could be wrong, but I thought about it. I think it's reasonable to suggest that nothing is important. And furthermore, if you were to go even further, everything is going to be all right on a long enough time frame. It always works out that way. It does. And, I got to say, in America, the ride that I've had so far, it's been a lot less treacherous. It's been treacherous at times, but considerably less treacherous than in other places such as Yemen, for example. You might have been hearing about them. Syria, you might have been hearing about them. There's many other places in which turmoil, violence, just total pandemonium breaking out. So I gotta say, of course, if you were considering all these situations and you were to look at me saying that nothing matters, that you might find it, number one, contradictory or just like maybe disrespectful, or two, just maybe plain insane, crazy nutballs. But I do mean it. And somehow I mean it at the same time as I say to you comfortably. And I think that you would say the same thing to me. The thing is that I just don't hear people saying it. The world, flat, ball shaped, I think it might be dreidel shaped. The world is completely not later, right now, in civil war. It's interesting because in America, for the most part, it's becoming increasingly retarded. Increasingly, but however, basically, we've been taught the same American history and world history for decades and decades now over here. Like I said, it gets more and more retarded as the times go by, but more or less the same history. And as you might assume, and as I've heard, and I would imagine, depending on what country you come from, what country you were born in, grew up in, the history is going to change. Sometimes drastically. The history is not going to be the same. So you're not just going to understand the world the same way an American does unless you hear all the history they were told, and vice versa. And that typically does not happen. So, in everybody's different little history books, I'm sure at one point in time, they in their own country have had something of a civil war, which they talk about for whatever various reasons, two factions at least warring with each other. The war ends, and then you got a country, and you got to kind of like build from it, basically, I'd imagine. But of course, in none of these history books does it talk about a complete, all-encompassing, worldwide civil war all happening all at the same time. And it's not like in vacuums. It's all the same civil war no matter what country you're going into. in the Civil War, if you were to try to articulate it in simple terms, is people in their country who do not want to destroy themselves and by God are snapping to the recognition that there are people in their country and outside of their country who do not mind fucking everybody over and pretty much deleting as many people as they can. They hate people. It's like, I don't know how you could describe it. Perhaps there are countries in which that's not taking place. But it seems to me as though every country that I'm aware of is absolutely experiencing that. People who want you dead just because they want people dead. And they don't like that you're around and they don't like that you have something to say. That's, to me, that's taking place. It's taking place already. There's no getting out of it. It might sound overwhelming and stuff, but at the same time inspiring. You know, for all our histories and stuff, of course, you typically want to make your own self out to be not only the victor of history, but the morally good guy. Like you, I'm told it's America more than other places, but you like to imagine yourself as being the good guys, and you won, and you vanquished over some bullshitting ass people. Like maybe they might have been good, but who cares? They were bullshitting, and then your people took over the people, and they happened to be even better, and it was good. People have different factions and stuff like that. But you notice how Ukraine and Russia, they're still, I don't know if the ceasefire even has gone through yet. I've heard they got a nice little ceasefire on the table. But when Russia and Ukraine were fighting, they're fighting each other. And of course, both sides of this fight are going to assume that they're like on the right side. And see how that becomes. Of course, both sides are going to feel like they're correct. And that's why they're fighting each other to the death. But really, see, they're giving their lives away to all this. And if I were to say to these people, you might be in a war, you're actually in a civil war in which I don't care why these people want you dead. And they want that, maybe they'll trick you into getting into some war. Why? They want you dead. They're trying to kill you. And they're running your country, or there are people with like vast influence trying to kill you. And to me, I found it very encouraging because now internationally, I don't even care what country you come from. I'll tell you exactly who's trying to kill you, how they're trying to kill you, and why they're trying to kill you and me. And maybe we should team up. It sounds kind of fantastical, but I never heard of that. Never have I heard anybody saying, hey, dude, everybody across the world, maybe we should all team up. These people want to kill us. There's various ways in which they're trying to do that. All right. At the very same time, nothing matters. It's a trip. It is a trip. And I don't know if there's something that I just said that nothing matters. But if you want to tell me about something that matters before this broadcast, I'll certainly talk about it. But with that being said, I don't know. Maybe I'm not in charge of my brain. Because I'm over here talking about Civil War. Your ass is in it. There's no getting out of it. You think you're going to have a normal life? Fuck no. There's no chance of that. All right. People are very gullible. People are very naive. You're not going to live very long in a normal fashion with this taking place unless you acknowledge that this is taking place. How many people, I talk to people, they say, hey, man, gosh, I was talking with someone the other day, for example. I was at a wedding. And I was the best man. Yeah, my hair was on point. Yeah, yeah. I was the best man. We're all getting ready and stuff like that. We're in the room in which the fellas get ready. I was talking with this one fella, happened to be the stepfather of the bride. And, I've had this conversation many times before, but he winds up saying, things really ain't going to change here in this country. So they're not really going to change until, and he didn't know how to finish that sentence. I said, until we hit rock bottom. And he said, no. He said, until we're in civil war. Implicating some of the egregious things that we have put up with as Americans, putting up with all sort of egregious things to include and especially the taxes that are taxing us into death. He said that's when it's going to change. And I told him, because I didn't want to lie to him. I said, listen, the entire world is in civil war right now, if you ask me, and we're balls deep up in it. So as far as that change, some sort of change is fitting to happen right now. Some sort of change barreling down. I want to say that with my attention, as much as I put on Donald Trump, I do keep an ear out for Donald Trump and to hear the things that he's been doing. Sounds pretty fantastic. Right? There's some people out there who is critiquing the shit out of Donald Trump right now and talking about all the failures. I like to listen to these people. I want to know why they think Donald Trump's coming up short. However, in my opinion, I got to say, you're expecting way too much out of one man. I know he's very powerful. Some people call him the most powerful person they've ever met in their life. But still just one man. All the opposition to him, of course, he's not going to be able to get everything that he wants to get done. There's opposition to him embedded. So there's definitely people out there who would expect more. People who I got respect for, even. A lot of people asking the JQ. That's the JQ they're asking. I got respect for it. But I will say, let the man cook, because there's no other person that could take his place. No matter what any of our criticisms are, is there one man who can take his place? Right now, today, I don't think so. So, I forget why I brought that up. I'm just saying I find it quite inspiring. All right. There's a battle, of course, and it's quite epic. And every day, new details come out that are unprecedented, that are just earth-shattering sometimes. But this is all stuff that we look forward to here in the short term. All right, so we're not going to have to wait very long to get our satisfaction, if you will, whatever that means, some sort of drastic change of some sort. I can only imagine it to be like heaven or straight hell on earth, and maybe it'll be both at the same time, dude. Well, that's what I expect for the people out there who are unexpecting, who are naive, who are quite gullible. They're over here thinking whether they like Trump or don't like Trump, they're hoping the economy will kind of like smooth out and this and that, and they want to be able to afford more, and they want more money. They want more money, right? They want comfort. They want stability. They want to know they can go down the street and buy whatever the fuck they want here in America. And that is how it goes. Right? They don't want any friction. They don't want any drama and concerns of their consumable goods. They don't want to. They don't want to worry about their 401k, dude. They're just like hoping everything goes just fine. I don't think it's going to go just fine in any regard, in any kind of way. It won't just go just fine. But whatever that is incurred along the way, I know for a fact that it's all going to be all right. And that nothing really matters, because if something matters to you so much, it's like inevitably there's going to be things that matter more. And then who decides what matters the most? I think the answer is God. And that's why I'm saying that nothing really matters, because who are we, who am I to be judging what matters so much? Right? Might as well cut that out of my life. Right? Um, I'm very excited to see. I don't know how it's going to unfold. I don't know what kind of inconveniences, and I know it's going to be so many damn inconveniences that I'm going to incur upon this rocky road that we're now beset on. And that's best come to best. The best possible scenario is a little bit of chaos soon. The worst, obviously, is there to get our man Donald, which they're furiously trying to do, even to this day. They never wanted to get our man Donald more than they do today. And that's their dream come true. All right. Very exciting. But furthermore, it's interesting. And I'm going to get up out of here. Nobody's giving me any clever suggestions to talk about. And so I'll give you a little bit of food for thought. Perhaps come back here tomorrow. But if I do, it's going to be much earlier. It's going to be a Sunday broadcast at an appropriate Sunday time, not late night like this. So that everybody can wind down, get their asses to work on Monday. All right, with some damn purpose, like you got some respect for yourself. All right, well, here's some things that I want to leave off with you. And I have mentioned nothing really matters. Okay, well, we got a suggestion right now. All right, I'm going to check it out. And I'm just going to assume that my sound has been coming in all right. Why would people just be listening to me if it wasn't? Andrew Trevino says Trump suggested that the United States joins the UK Commonwealth. I'm not sure what that's all about. Well, one thing that I know for sure is that I never heard of that. And it's tough, man. It is tough. These days, if you want to know what Donald Trump said, you have to hear it come out of his mouth. And it basically goes for anybody. And not only that, but the context in which what he was saying, what he said. You'd have to hear all that. Not only that, you'd have to be able to make sure it's not some AI hologram saying this bullshit out their mouth. That's a lot of confirmation that people have to go through. And Lord knows, I sure don't. I never know. I'm never going to claim to know the answers. Oh, today so and so said this. How do you feel about that? It's like, dude, how would I know what this person said or didn't? I need to see them say it. I need to see the context in which what they said it. And then I need to see a recording of them later on admitting that they said it for me to ever believe that they actually did say it at this point. Andrew Trevino also says Alex Jones had put out like a 14-minute video earlier today discussing it. Gosh, man, so much goes on. And not just this, obviously, but like a million things happen that are like kind of very interesting. But like, I had no idea. I had no idea about any of that. It's making me think, well, what do I know about the news today? And now that I think about it, probably not much at all. I don't know. Every single day something comes up. And can you imagine if we tried to catch it all? Like it was important when nothing is important. People might say, why are you even over here talking about this stuff that's not important? If somebody asked me that, I would tell them, first of all, I have no idea why I'm doing it. And isn't that fascinating? I couldn't tell you why I'm doing it. Talking of these things that are not important. But it's happening. It's like God is causing it to happen, and I don't even have to think about it. But Alex Jones he made like a 14-minute video. The claims are still trying to be corroborated, but Jones was saying it. Well, I don't have much more trust for anybody than I do for our man, Alex Jones. I mean, over the years and stuff, he's proven to be pretty damn accurate. So I couldn't say. But, perhaps I could find out. And maybe he didn't hear Trump say that. That's the thing about it. Seems like a pretty simple rule that you have to hear the person say it and watch them say it. And then later on, you have to find out and get confirmation that they agree that they actually did say it. If not, you can go off of what someone said that he said, and you can be pretty sure that it was said. And then you take it and run with it. And I'm sure I've done that plenty of times. It's kind of dangerous. Maybe Alex Jones did see him say that. Maybe he really did say that, and then he's talking all this whatever. I guess that's another thing that which I'm learning here in these days. Is that, like, hypothetically, let's use this as an example. Donald Trump says that the United States should rejoin the UK Commonwealth. Alrighty, it's my reflex to say that never happened. And then I'll wait for headlines to hit and they'll say whether or not they think it happened. But then, to be quite honest, these times in which we live in have taught me to be very reserved. Because let's say Trump suggested we need to join the UK Commonwealth. I don't have the slightest clue on why he would do that. And if I'm being fair, I wouldn't have the slightest clue on why he wouldn't do that or wouldn't want to do that. What does it mean to be in the Commonwealth? I don't even have a clue what it means. And if I was more intellectual, if you will, intellectually driven, I would know what it means to be in a commonwealth. I mean, I would, if I had to venture a guess, I'd say, oh, like they got all the money and they run y'all and you're a part of it. You're under their umbrella. Like a prostitute is under the commonwealth of a particular pimp. All right. He's got all the wealth and, that's what they have in common. But I could be wrong, number one. Number two, it's definitely worth it to hear him out because Trump has a pretty decent track record on most subjects, I would say, not on all subjects. But he has a reputation enough to where I would definitely want to hear him out. And then upon hearing it, then giving it, like, let him really articulate, and then decide if it's retarded. All right. I've never heard of this. So Andrew Trevino, he's killing the damn comment section. Appreciate that. He's going off the damn handle with info nuggets. For example, he says Jones was questioning the left-wing source, but he was still commenting on it because the thought is very anti-1776. See, that's what, and I would assume this about Alex Jones, to be talking about things that are, in a sense, hypothetical, rhetorical, or something. It's like, that's what's interesting. Deciding what's important. What are you going to talk about? You might talk about it for 14 straight minutes about a thing that honestly might not be important and might have not never happened. But it actually is productive, and it actually is, in the scheme of things, like a good idea to articulate it as though if it did happen. Right? So, first of all, Jones stating, and I'm hearing that he stated, this left-wing organization could just be making it up. All right. But let's say if they didn't make it up, this, and that, and this reason is all reasons why it's a terrible idea. And of course, we wouldn't want to have it. Of course, it goes against what we supposedly stand for. And that's if it did happen, in which it probably isn't happening. These people are fucking liars. And it's actually good. It's kind of interesting, but it's only interesting to a certain minority of people. It's actually mindless dribble for like most other people who are not like very invested in civil war and power struggles and socio-global economic infrastructures and also whatever have you. All right. But he said it would be very anti-1776, in which I would agree. And I might be brash and I might not be knowing, but let me just say, um, from what I hear about UK, and I know people in UK, and shout out to them, they deserve all sort of respect. But the UK is broke, all right? There's some broke bitches, dude. They're so out of it, and they don't even stand a chance no more. And I'm sorry, I don't even mean to be disrespectful, really, but it just sounds like I'll suck, dude. It sounds like I'll have nothing to offer. And sometimes I think about America and how far we've come. We've slid down. We've slid down so damn hard and fast that it even blows my mind. But at the same time, what's even worse, and I just had to hear this from the rest of the world, what's even worse is that the other countries still don't even got it like us. The UK. What does the UK have to offer? What do we need from the UK? Nothing. They need everything from us. And it's just like, it's an interesting thing to have in my mind. Like, we've fallen so far. We're damn near past the point of no return, and we're still way, way better. How is it that we're still way better? What country can hang with us besides Russia and China? I'm just asking. Andrew Trevino says it means that we would be under the crown of King Charles. And I would assume that that is what it means, sort of. I'm not even clear if Canada is still in the Commonwealth or if it means anything at all. Oh, we'd be under the thumb of King Charles. Man, just to bring it up, the UK is not shit, all right? These are the cold hard facts. That is complete reality. All right. Yeah, there's some people in London who are richer than anybody's business. I'm sure of it. God bless all the people of the UK. They're my brothers and my sisters. And I believe in them and I believe in their history. Your country is not shit no more and has nothing to offer. And whatever countries are up under it have got to be doing a shit job themselves. And just like America first, it should be Scotland first. It should be Ireland first. It should be Britain first and stuff, but it's not. We're all fighting the same people. All right, and then King Charles. It's like, okay, just real briefly, because it was brought up, the whole royal family of Britain, and I know it branches off into other whatever royal families, the whole royal family of Britain, I could say about King Charles, obviously. All I had to do is say Jimmy Savile, and you should know what the fuck I'm talking about, all right? That's all who I think about. When you aren't you Jimmy Savile's best friend? Something like that? And oh, don't you have like brothers run around doing some weird, wild, questionable stuff with Jeffrey Epstein? It's like I could dwell upon that, but I wouldn't. I could and I won't. The reason is because you're so fucking boring. And people, they have to have decorum and stuff like that. Dude, and I swear I'll die on this hill. If I ever saw King Charles in person, I would say loud enough for him to hear, "You are fucking boring. And there's no reason to pay attention to your bitch ass." And the thing is, your whole family's shameful too at the same time. I don't even care. I wish y'all the best. And I know they might really like the monarchy and whatnot in the UK. I'm not trying to be offensive, but fuck y'all. You're so fucking boring that it just blows my mind. I would never ever hear about y'all. If it wasn't for my mom over there, she loves hearing about y'all, especially Meghan Markle. Y'all couldn't be, aside from the atrocities, whatever atrocities y'all have done in your lifetimes, y'all are the most fucking boring people that I could ever imagine ever. It's painful to know about you and your existence. Y'all used to be the biggest empire in the world. You suck, dude. And you know what's worse? They're bad. I mean, it's like watching paint dry. They suck. But there's actually people, and I'm talking about dozens and dozens on the internet who make a living talking about these royal family people, and that's all they do is talk about what these royal family people have done. And if you watch the royal family people doing it, you should probably fall asleep because it's so boring and mundane. Aside from all the atrocities, which I'm pretty sure that they're involved in. But try listening to other people making a living talking about Meghan Markle all day. That does exist. All right, so it's just like I need to know more information. I do want to hear Donald out. I think certain men, I'm saying men in particular, have earned the right for you to hear them out, for jumping to conclusions, right? And there's definitely some things that I disagree with Donald Trump on. But like I said, very excited to see what he does, what Elon does, what all these people in the FBI and the whatnot, the DOJ, what they're allegedly going to do. RFK out here doing, I don't know what the hell Vivek is doing anymore. It's all very exciting, like a soap opera. I'm watching it. I'm excited. Soap opera. It either leads to heaven or hell or both, but nothing matters. That's why it's more entertaining. It's more entertaining, even though it should be terrifying and it's quite disturbing. The soap opera that I plan to unfold in front of my eyes between now and a couple of years from now. All chaos and calamity. And what's even more, and I'll get up out of here. Vivek, he's running for the governor of Ohio. And that sounds pretty cool, dude. Like, I hope he does real good things for Ohio. I know a lot of people hate on him, and that's why he left as far as Doge or whatever. I'm not sure how exactly that turned out. So, but the whole soap opera is interesting. I'm not married to any one character. If he turned out to be like some sort of Indian smuggling tycoon or something like that, and he had a mess of like hundreds of Indian immigrants in a basement or something. If that happens, I'm not married to Vivek. All right, because anything can happen, it seems. It's all very entertaining. I just want America first. I want more power, and I want to wield my power for good and benevolent reasons. All right, I'm standing back watching the show, firmly on the side of non-Satan worshipers. And there's plenty of Satan worshipers out there. By the way, people who worship women are Satan worshipers. They're lurking. This broadcast is almost over, but perhaps in the next broadcast we'll talk about in all the whole ways. And there's a lot. And all of the ways in which various people worship women, which is basically worshiping Satan in disguise. And I don't hate women, and I don't hate anybody in the world, right? So, not a misogynist. It's got to hear me out, all right? The Satan worship is all over the place. And even though this soap opera is going to play out, it's going to be quite exciting. There's other things. Might I just draw your attention to two things that I repeat? Number one, the worshiping of women. There's no way that our country will survive, no matter how great we so-called make it right now. Doesn't matter. We're not going to survive. There is no way. Why? In the end, it's not going to be enough children. All right. And the children that we do have, they ain't going to be able to have no ideology of bravery or courage or something like that. We're not going to have enough children. Why? It's because we're worshiping women. Some people don't get what I'm saying. I would say most people do not understand what I just said. But we'll talk about that and stuff. Not only that, just throw something else out there. The chemtrails. These chemtrails that, oh, everybody just, people are eager to play it off, to not even recognize what's being blown about in the skies. That's the thing what I thought about. I could be wrong. But I say, imagine a country anywhere on the world, any country, and they without knowing anything, without knowing anything at all, they see people flying over, spraying them with something. Is for sure different from what you ever used to see. Is definitely different. They're spraying something on you, and you just continue to let it happen. You don't know what it is, but your best course of action is to pretend that it's not anything, to pretend it's not happening. If you pretend it's not happening, then of course there is no problem, and whatever problem there was will in fact go away if you ignore it. So, like, imagine a country and they're making themselves great again, and they're like refurbishing their whole economy, and they're like reverse engineering. They're getting rid of all sort of fraud and all the taxes, taking all the taxes down, and they're trying their best. But they, when they look up, they see somebody spraying them, and their best course of action is to think to themselves that there's no way that that could be bad, and just ignore it. And if we just ignore it, nothing bad is happening, and God will reward us for this. Whereas in my mind, it seems to me the opposite. It seems that it's like God is showing you, hey, look, these people are doing something right in your face that seems quite ominous, that scientists all over the country have done like sample test results and figured out they're spraying us with certain compounds in particular, and these compounds are in different degrees dangerous for many different reasons. Like, that seems to be what's happening, and that seems more reasonable than thinking we're being sprayed with nothing. We're being sprayed with pixie dust, and just by people who love us, and they don't want to talk about what they're spraying on us, but it must be good for us. It's like, I don't know if I'm making sense. Like, how would God have respect for people who are just going to let it happen right in front of their faces and never question it? Why would he have respect for a country in which that country worships women to the point is now they can't have enough babies? Why would God continue that country? How could that country even continue? I don't know. I'll holler at y'all a little bit later, all right? Tomorrow. at an earlier time, probably. I'll holler. I'll let you know. Or maybe I won't. All right. Maybe total chaos. I'll holler.